Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of HR to CHRO podcast series. And today we have Mr. Janesh Kumar with us. He started his career in Bajaj Auto as in production, and then he moved on into HR, HRBPS, JSW Steel, then Dr. Reddy's Lab, Abbott, and then within a 10 years time, one of the fastest persons I know, he became a CHRO at Airtel Payments Bank, and then he was CHRO at RP Sanjeev Goenka, and then currently he is CHRO at Genus Power. So, welcome, Janesh. Thanks for giving us time.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you and the audience.
All right. So, engineering and then production, and then how did you decide to move into HR?
See, even today, mm, in my professional career, at least nothing is decided, and I call it a perfectly unplanned journey for at least my professional journey. I actually wanted to become a doctor, but then got into engineering. After engineering, I actually wanted to do further studies in engineering, but then started preparing for civil services. So while preparing for civil services, I gave some competition examinations also. After that, I wanted to get into marketing, but then got a seat into human resources. And that's how I entered into human resources. Before that, nothing was planned. It was only that I am getting into uh, professional world with a qualification which is going to add onto my basic qualification of engineering. So the only thing which was decided that I would want to or I wish to start my career with a techno commercial kind of a role where it's a manufacturing kind of a setup plus the human resources. And I think that happened very rightly with JSW Steels Limited. And then I never looked back. No, why did I choose HR? Today I am enjoying that.
So, coming from a technical background, how much has it helped you in HR?
I think to a great extent, and no, that's one philosophy which I have always followed. See, I'm not saying that the other qualifications do not push you to be a little more logical in your thought process, or maybe a little more scientific or no, mathematical in your thought processes. But engineering kind of makes it the way you think. Now, those 4 years actually train your brain to think very, very logically and with some mathematical models and looking at the data and then doing some formula-based conversation, formula-based decisions. So that thing somewhere came naturally to me when I did my mechanical engineering. Now, when I look back, the compensation, the complete performance management system, the science, which initially was a rocket science for, or maybe a very, very uh, confidential science, which Comp and Ben team used to keep very close to themselves, it was easy for me to understand what is the philosophy behind that whole process. But today, in the world of AI and data, I believe, and I very strongly believe that HR processes and HR is a philosophy which has a very strong scientific logic behind it. That scientific logic is maybe human behaviors, but then there are data, there are research which actually show some trends, and there are, of course, mathematical models which we can use to make our decisions much more data-based decisions, which are accepted by your peers, rest of the functional heads or the management much faster if you only present your ideas in a very, very or absolutely qualitative way. So mix of quantitative analytics in that, of course, made things very easy for me. And that's where engineering helped me a lot. And even today it is helping.
Like Isaac Asimov wrote the famous series of books Foundation, where
Yeah.
he used the science of psychohistory to mathematically predict the behavior of mass of people. So,
Absolutely.
see, engineering background, so logical and human behavior, which is the right brain. So, left brain and right brain. So, maybe that was maybe one of the secrets of your success, which I want to come to now, that you were able to become a CHRO in 10 years time, which is pretty fast, and that too in traditional industries. See, generally when we talk about IT, ITES, or new industries, there relatively it's slightly faster. The trajectory is faster, but in traditional industries, becoming a CHRO in 10 years. So, what has been your secret of success, Janesh?
So, the very first thing I must, thank God for giving me opportunities with very good organizations at the beginning of my career. And I was lucky to work under some very good managers, very good mentors who actually threw me into the water, and they gave me complete freedom at that point of time. So, one piece which I now, if I connect the dots, one piece was that I was entrusted with the responsibility much earlier in my career. So, and that responsibility was burden at that point of time. Sometimes I used to crib also that I am doing everything and somebody else is taking credit for that. But then now I realize that thank God I did that, because that taught me a lot of things, how things work on ground. That came from that exposure which my managers designed for me. Second, I think the curiosity which was always there with me, maybe again, I think that it came from engineering, where I was always curious to know what is the machinery behind anything. And that machinery in human resource became data, human resource became science, in human resource became policy, procedures, philosophy. What are we using and why are we deciding on this thing? So I asked a lot of questions initially. So that curiosity also helped me a lot in terms of traveling that journey. Third piece, which I believe is uh, thinking different from others. No, in my initial organizations, I always used to feel that no, I am odd one out and I am not able to understand the point which these people are bringing. So sometimes I used to keep quiet because my thought process was very different. I used to kind of doubt my thought process that no, rest everybody is talking in this direction. So maybe there is something wrong with me or I am not understanding the context. So I used to keep quiet because that confidence was not there. But then again, thanks to some of the managers, mentors, some of the managers, they used to specifically ask me, Janesh, what do you think? And then I used to say something, and most of the time it was completely out of. I used to start with saying that no, I have a very different thought process. I believe this is. Those managers actually acknowledged that. And over a period of time, I was kind of known as someone who thinks differently. So I was invited in meetings where some brainstorming was required, or maybe a new process we are setting up. Let us think very differently. So in those meetings, I used to get a lot of respect. Janesh, what do you think? Janesh, what do you think? So I think that was a fuel for my that curiosity and that thinking very differently. That fuel continued, and then I invested a lot in myself via doing some certifications. I read a lot of books, which I think I should give 50% credit to my reading habit, where initially I read a lot of books, and those books were, of course, related to HR philosophies, models, very, very, you may say, academic books, but then written by researchers, some of the known faces in HR, starting from Dave Ulrich to a lot of new age philosophers. There I used to get a lot of things, a lot of food for my thought, whether it is short stories of Prakash Ayerji, or whether it was a very, very complex model of Dave Ulrich about HR business partnering and what it is all about, or it was learning the component basics starting from LTS or eShops from an Aon certification program. I think things fell in place. While honestly, it was not so well designed at that point of time, but whatever kept coming to my way, I kept picking up those opportunities. And one last thing is that I looked for opportunities, which I see missing in these days. young generations, I used to look for more work. Never ever said that this is not in my job description or this is not my job, which has become a cultural issue these days in some of organizations. But I was always there to help. Somewhere that is paying me back.
I think this is a common because two other CHROs, I think Yashpal and Sahil, who also reached the CHRO level pretty fast. So they also mentioned that they always ask for more responsibilities. So they would go to their boss and ask for responsibilities, or in case they see something where nobody is taking care of, then they would go and say. So that is a common factor. Now, so taking responsibilities, having mentors, curiosity, thinking differently, and investing in yourself, and hunger for taking more responsibilities. So I find thinking differently very intriguing. Can you give us some examples?
So, no, recently I was referring or reflecting on something which was very initial days conversation, one of the organizations. There, I was given the task of creating a performance-driven organization or a function that was function specific, and they said that we need to make it performance-driven. Now that was a jargon 20 years back, and I read about that and all. And then I sat with some of my seniors. At that point of time, I was middle manager. Sat with some of my seniors, function heads, and they're down in line who were kind of my peers. That how do you think and what is the problem in that? Now the problem statement at that point of time came that people are coming late, they leave early, they take a lot of time in lunch, so they are not sitting on their tables. No, we should have a punch-in system. No, and we should cut their salaries if they are giving less time. Shifts are not properly planned, so they are coming 10 minutes, 15 minutes late in the shifts. Um, Lunch timing is a little more. After lunch, they go around and all. Most of the things were around these very, what do I say?
Trivial points.
Yes. And what I read at that point of time that, and even today, when you read, no, how to drive a performance or how to create a performance-driven culture, it talks about clarity of goals. It talks about the impact that role is going to play, the visibility of that individual to the larger vision and his role impact there, environment, what kind of behaviors am I rewarding? Now, when I looked at these two pillars, I said we are solving the problem from very different angle. And that's when, and they were expecting me to come up with solution that, okay, sir, I have put a, timetable in the canteen. These people will go from 9 to 6. These people will go from this to this. We have, at that point of time, there were register outside. There were no biometric machines or anything of that sort. Factory kind of setup. So I said, we will put the register outside. We will have one person appointed there who will ensure that nobody sits idle there, because there are people waiting to sit and have food. So jiska ho gaya fatafat, they say move on. And every week we should look at the Excel sheet and how many people are giving what number of hours. Now imagine at that point of time when things were not that automated, I or management was expecting to create a clerical job for 3 or 4 people in an
Managers.
organization, where I said, sir, I think we are solving the problem for a very different perspective. The perspective is this. Now, you leave them that this is your delivery. I care a damn whatever way you would want to do. This is your shift. I need to get this much tonnage done. The managers will be responsible. They will be responsible. The workers will be responsible. But if I put a condition onto them, maybe they will retaliate with a
Correct.
similar kind of condition in other things also. So that point of time, I was a junior resource. So they said, okay, ठीक है, we heard you. Then they started speaking to the HR at that point of time, and I was kind of excused that, okay, Janesh, thank you for your study. We have taken your point. I came out and I said, maybe I was giving a lot of gyan. The processes doesn't run this way. This is management gyan, bookish gyan. In actual, things work like this only. So this is one example where I used to think very differently, and sometimes I used to feel embarrassed also.
See, you when you read books like Fountainhead, Ayn Rand's book like Fountainhead, so there, there have people who think differently and they like the experience that you are sharing. It is not appreciated in the larger context. So, some example there, and what would you communicate to similar people in HR or in other departments who would be listening to this podcast that in case they think differently, it's an asset, not a liability. So, how would you like to address it to them?
See, where we can go wrong is we think differently without a solid context, without having the theoretical clarity behind it. Now,
Okay.
there are multiple philosophies. These philosophies come from your life philosophies, experiences, your granthas, your dharmas, and your Chanakya Nitis, and all those kind of things. That's your life philosophy. In life philosophy, also, there are a lot of teachings about how to make decisions, what is right, what is wrong, how to behave in a society, how to behave at different occasions, how to have that social maturity. Now, these things mostly come from your social upbringing and how um, observant you have been during that. So, there also, I think people should invest time with their parents, people should invest time with their grandparents, people should invest time talking to them and listening about their stories. No, that wisdom is first. Second is, first, you should be clear about the theory, philosophy behind any model which you are talking about.
Okay.
Now, are you clear about the research available on this field? Now, those days, though, the books were the only source. There was nothing online. Google
Correct.
was 56 kbps per second type of speed. And books and all, we had to travel to metro cities to get books of our choice, and books were also not printed that frequently. Today, digital books and also the knowledge is available at a click. So
Correct.
you should first do research and read about everything which is available on that. Once you are clear about these two things, you will be confident when you are thinking out of the box. You would be very assertive when you are putting that point. Why I used to keep quiet at that point of time, or maybe not that assertively, I was putting my point because I was not sure about if I'm aware of everything, if I'm aware of that context. I did not have the wisdom of 10 years, 15 years of experience at that point of time. But then I covered up that with wisdom of books. Someone said that if you read one book, you are actually reading 25 years of experience of a writer in 2 hours. So those books helped me to build a lot of wisdom, a lot of philosophies of my own. Now, people used to say, no, we should not hire from top colleges, tier one colleges. But then where is this philosophy coming from? Why we should not hire? His thought process could be different.
Correct.
So, but when I read books, I was at least ready for -2 level of dissection. If you ask me why, I will have second level of dissection. If you ask me then why, then I also have third level of dissection, that this is the reason I'm telling you about it. Today, I can take you to the last mile, that finally we live for this, and hence this is what we should be doing. Now, that required that wisdom of the holistic wisdom, if I may call. Now, it is not sufficient for you to be completely corporate kida, completely bookish kida. Most of people at this point of time have forgotten to be social. We have forgotten the importance of relationships,
Correct.
whether it is parents, whether it is peers, whether it is juniors. Uh, that wisdom is also very important.
Correct. So, last mile, again, this is so very interesting. At your level, at your age and stage where you are a CHRO, are you saying that you still find time to spend time at the last mile with the front level people?
Oh, yes, of course.
This is so
course.
powerful. This is so powerful, Janesh. Something more on this.
See, a lot of people used to tell me, my manager used to, no, one of my manager used to always challenge me. Have you spoken to the candidate? Have you spoken to the employee? Did you speak to him? I said, no. Chalo, you go sit on the bike and go and have a day out with him. Now, today I understand, and in my philosophy, what I have built is one. Uh, if you want to understand the reality on ground, you need to go to the ground. Yeah. If you call someone in your cabin, which has got a say 7, 8 feet long door, and he's coming into your environment, sitting in an office space which is he's not comfortable with, and you are asking him, okay, tell me honestly, how do you feel? You will be a fool if you imagine he's going to open up. You have to go
Correct.
to his home, his territory. उसकी गली में जाके बात करो, then he will open up.
Correct.
Second, if you want to have unfiltered, raw feedback, then you have to go and speak to them. Now, by the time you become CHR, the good point is that you have the art of converting those raw points into strategic management problem, no, or culture problem, organizational behavior problem. So you have traveled that journey, but then the raw piece which you are getting is very, very authentic. It is
Correct.
organic.
Correct.
But if you take it from the managers, or maybe take it from engagement survey per se also, there, चाहे आप जितना मर्जी anonymous कर लीजिए, you will still find
Correct.
what do we call that? No, um,
A sliver of diplomacy.
डिप्लोमेसी आ जाएगा, उसमें अडल्ट्रेशन हो जाएगा, multiple level. Some people would want to say something. See, reality is that a lot of people are still struggling with articulation of their thoughts.
Correct.
Unfortunate reality in India is, at least in my experience, a lot of people still struggle with good communication and articulation of their thoughts.
Correct.
So you need to spend time with them and understand in their own language, on raw way they communicate,
Correct.
and then use your art and skill set as a CHRO to convert this or that information into something which is strategic level.
It is so powerful spending time with the last mile. See, now the question which comes to mind is a young HR professional, for example, or any young professional who would be listening to this is mostly in HR professional. He or she would say that, see, I have already so much on my plate. I have to look out for my own KRAs, my KPIs. On top of that, how do I find time to go out and spend some time with the last mile to look at the reality? See, there are traffic issues, there are so many other problems in current lifestyle, work life balance, and and so on. So what would be your, how would you address this?
First, I will give you a very polished gyan, no philosophical gyan, is that no, delegate, have right team, you are not delegating correctly, or time management, you should ensure where you are investing time, what are top priorities, bucket them in 1, 2, 3, and then prioritize them. There are multiple models which will give you, okay, this is coming as top priority, first priority, second priority. There are models around that. No, of course,
Correct.
these are all science. Delegation is a science. How do you find time? The cycle is, it's a vicious cycle. Yeah. You need to hire right people. If you do not hire right people under you, they will not take away load from your table. Then they will further not able, they further hire junior level people who will again will be a problem statement. You tend to promote someone who was not ready. You tend to give responsibility to someone who did not carry that skill set. Everything is linked. If you are not doing hiring properly, you are not doing R&R properly, you are not doing job description set properly, you will find these problems. But then this is bookish. Now, reality is what you are saying. It is very difficult to find time. that point of time, my mantra is priorities. Yeah. There are certain what we call as the survival in the business world is that if something is coming from top management, top priority automatically. Once you kill them and then give importance to some other responsibilities. Something which is good to have, that should go to the last level of priority. You figure out time. If that is happening within a week, fine. If not, nothing else. The delegation piece and the responsibility pass on to the next level is what my mantra is. I delegate a lot and I struggle with that piece where people say, I have not done it in past. And that's an unfortunate reality, which I would want to take 15 seconds to talk about.
Correct.
I have seen 15 years, 20 years people in the HR fraternity, but then if I ask them to make a basic analytics of data, they struggle. Now, it is unfortunate that they did not, one, get the right opportunities, right managers where they could have learned. They also missed investing in themselves. At that level, now they have reached to a level where they are not able to grow. They have touched the ceiling. And they are also making life of CHROs who want to drive agendas much faster and all. Those CHROs will definitely have problem in figuring out time because they are still doing a clerical level job or maybe very transactional job. He has only become a dictator. You please come to my cabin. I will dictate you. This is dictionary. Please write it down. Go, go, go. This is, and you do it. That person will come and do that. Sir, ho gaya. Now what next? So one is that you should hire and you should have right people in your team, especially your one down. Otherwise, it is difficult to find time. You also introspect where are you investing your time. The moment I figure out that I am investing a lot of time in my clerical work and all, I call my team and I said, please take care of this. If there is anything which is stuck, then only come to me because I need to do my job. And
Correct.
sometimes they find my job very tactical. I said, okay, it is meeting the last mile for you is tactical, but then the outcome is going to be very, very strategic.
Correct. Correct. See, again, you spoke a word which I find very, very powerful, Janesh, introspect. See, the problem in today's world, which I find during my workshops, and be it senior level or be it entry level, the propensity of people to spend time introspecting, to just think, is going down, maybe because of the times that we live in where social media is so prevalent, and people, when they have 5 seconds or 10 seconds, they'll start swiping their mobile. But that ability to introspect, maybe on a weekend or at the end of the day or before going to sleep or just after waking up, so and it is so very powerful, I tell, and then I help them use brain rewiring techniques to start taking out time to have some time for introspection, maybe on a weekend. But this is so very powerful. Could we have some thoughts on introspection?
No, no, I think you have touched on a very, very critical and very uh, important piece, which I am also wanting to invest at uh, uh, no, in my current organization. And I think the brain wiring technique which Kushalta is doing is one of that program. Um, this has become a luxury at this point of time, which was once upon a time an evening chore.
Correct.
Now we will all sit together and we will talk about elders will talk about, but then today it has become a program based thing. You need to spend half an hour with yourself. No, when I started reading about this, my wife actually practices Buddhism,
Very
and
nice.
no, that's also somewhere a source of lot of gyan to me. And I also listen to a lot of podcasts via some of these gurus. who talk about management, who talk about life philosophies. There are many such gurus who actually speak really well, and I follow them. They actually talk about finding that at least half an hour with yourself where you do not speak, you do not hear, you only sit in the silence. And there is a science, again, no, similar technique, brain rewiring technique, where these people are left at the bottom of a mountain, and they climb up the mountain and come down, but then they are in absolutely silence. Nobody can speak. When they come down, and it's around 40-45 minutes of thing, when they come down, they are full of emotions. And I earlier used to doubt those videos where people are crying and they are uh, pouring their emotions and all. I said, this is all no, fake
Fake.
video. But then at that point of time, when I actually did that, I actually had goosebumps when I came down. I did not cry. I did not have those extreme emotions. But then some of my fellow participants did have extreme emotions. Some of them were crying. Most of them were crying because those extreme emotions, when you actually spend time with yourself, it is most of the time something which is disturbing you, something which is staying in your mind, and something which you are not able to solve for. But that helps.
Correct.
Now, that introspection is very important. Otherwise, you are driving without your rear view camera. If you are not looking at your past experiences and introspecting that what road I have already driven and how was the journey,
Correct.
and you miss then the front view camera also. No, the windshield become very blur.
Correct.
That no, in which direction am I going? So it is very important for you to introspect to understand what am I doing in my life. Unfortunately, these type of things starts coming when you actually have kids who are now college going, or you are crossed 40-45 years of age. People suddenly become little more religious, little more spiritual. I don't know the reason why, but at least in my perspective, by around 40-45 years on this earth, you have actually seen complete cycle almost. You have seen a loss of your dear and dear one. You have seen extreme circumstances like COVID. You have seen very happy moments of your life like promotions or car or kids or marriage. You have seen life, or you have lived for somebody else like your kids and wife now. So by this time, you actually see the complete life cycle ka ek broad picture.
Correct.
Then you start making sense out of what philosophies and life philosophies used to tell, that finally it is you who will go alone. And that point of time, you will think that what did you contribute?
Correct. Correct.
That's when you look back and see, okay, how many people were in my team and today have become CHROs. I feel
Very
really
nice.
proud. Some of my team members, in fact, 6, 7 of them are now heading HR functions for
Very
very
nice.
big organizations.
Very nice.
I feel happy that once upon a time we used to look for basic house amenities as a big investment. Today, at least by God's grace, those things are available at home. So that introspection plus gratitude is very important.
Nice.
Else, you will not be able to find peace and that sense of accomplishment in your life.
Correct. Correct.
Hence, introspection is very important.
Like Mr. Stephen R. Covey, he says in his book Seven Habits of Highly Effective People that a group of people are chopping down trees, but then one fellow climbs at the top and he says, "You are chopping the wrong jungle. We were supposed to be chopping trees in the other jungle." So, introspection or having that. So, see, we also talked about mentors. So, and again, this is a common point with almost all the CHROs we have done the podcast with. So, they highlight the importance of mentors. So, how have your mentors helped you, and how would you recommend mentorship to people?
Very important. Very important. While my HR fellow colleagues will also agree that out of 100, 99 mentorship programs in organizations actually go fat after some time, because it requires a lot of follow-ups, and then eventually it becomes an HR agenda only, and over a period of time, it doesn't survive for that long. But directly or indirectly, all of us have mentors. Some of us find those mentors outside the organization, in family, or in the same field in which you are working, same profession. But it is very important. Now, the guru positioning system, no GPS, you need to have mentors, one, to get you out of that frustration before you actually get into the zone of depression. You will have a lot of frustration and initially in that frustration you are prone to take very wrong calls. What are those wrong calls? You will leave the organization, you will join another organization, you will fight with a peer, or you will get into a different role. You will take out your anger on wrong things and make wrong decisions. And in our lifespan, ideally, you should only be working with, let's say, what, 5 to 6 organization till the time to you reach the top. Now, 6 choices or options you have, or 6 opportunities you have in your life, and those 6 opportunities should be very right, because that those are shaping your career. So every wrong decision, you are missing an opportunity, you are left with then nothing. So that's one thing where mentor supports you by giving his listening ears and giving you time, and sometimes just giving you that it is okay, yaar, hota hai, हमने भी देखा है, move on,
Correct.
be a little more resilient. So he will tell you from his experience that this is okay. The moment you get to know that I am not the only one facing this problem, the problem becomes half.
Correct.
Second is, we whatever whatever level of IQ or smartness we have, we still have the experience always wins the race versus the knowledge or degrees or
Correct.
technologies and all. Somewhere the real life experience always help,
Correct.
and those real life experiences again a mentor can only provide you. That
Correct.
I have managed such situation, and it is okay, it will happen. Yeah, I'll give you a example where we were having some IR related issues, and I was again a middle level manager, and I was kind of scared that okay, there are people gathered around outside our gate, and they are asking for some demands, and if we don't settle, they won't allow people to come in. So what do I do? And if we call police unnecessary, they are threatening that no, we will take care, we are local and all that. So we happened to speak to the senior most leader in the management, and he was a family member also, the promoter family. So we said that, okay, this is something which is happening and all, and he is creating this. So he made a very statement very casually. ठीक है, ask him to write his demands on a piece of paper and tell him that, okay, I will go to management and I'll get it discussed with them. I need 10 days of time. So by it, I don't know, he's not ready to listen. So he says, no, he will listen. He says that, Janesh, इतनी बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इतना बड़ा अंपायर हमने ऐसे ही नहीं खड़ा किया है. It requires courage. It requires daring persona to actually run such big organization and all. You go ahead. Don't worry. ऐसे ही नहीं हम लोग बैठे हुए हैं. Now, those simple words gave me so much of confidence. I went out and I said, write it on a piece of paper and come back after a week. और जो करना है कर लो. No, no, sometimes you need mentors, sometimes you need
Correct.
elders. आपके पिताजी अगर आपको एक स्टेटमेंट बोल देते हैं कि बेटा डोंट वरी आई एम देयर,
Correct.
आपकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाती है.
Correct.
A lot of people call me, sir, you remember me, I was in your organization, my company is laying off and I am looking for an opportunity, can you help? If I tell him that, don't worry, I'll get you something, no,
Correct.
his tension becomes half.
Correct.
So he is looking for some
Moral support.
mentor, some coach, some guide who can give him those mental as well as very, very practical support.
Correct.
So those mentors, some of the mentors have been indirect mentors to me. Some of the mentors, they keep writing blogs, they keep speaking in podcasts and all. I follow them. They have become my mentors. They don't know, but एकलव्य के जैसे मैं तो सीखता हूँ. And I take examples of their philosophies. I use their philosophies in a lot of my conversations.
Very nice.
So directly or indirectly, mentors तो आप लेते हो,
Very nice.
and
Very
it is
powerful.
very.
Very nice. He also talked about again something which is now people are not spending that much time on it, investing in themselves, not only in certifications but also reading. So reading today could be audiobooks also, or it could be listening to podcasts. But investing in myself, investing in oneself in whichever way, and it is so very powerful. Some thoughts on this, Janesh?
This has been the only treasure for me. Only treasure for my. I was very clear from the beginning itself that if anything I can take help from is my knowledge and my investment in getting as much knowledge as possible. I had nothing else to grow in my profession or my career. No godfather, no political influence, no family business with a lot of money, nothing of that sort. So I was very clear from the beginning. If you want to respectfully grow in this in this industry, you need to differentiate yourself from others with the knowledge and the practical knowledge you how much you can gain. Some of the life philosophy, some of the life incidents have also taught me a lot, but that is a separate ball game altogether. Sometimes I feel that no, my life has not been different from a Slumdog Millionaire movie kind of thing, where a lot of things we have picked up from some of the life incidences, some of the God-given opportunities, some of the events where I met couple of people. So things have fallen in place. Today, I know about component, I know about training, I know about psychometric assessments, I know about culture, I know about IR, I know about law. These all things have fallen in place at some point of time. The only thing is that I was always with open arms in this. Now, if I do not find time for reading, then now let's be very clear that very soon your hardware will have no software updates then.
Correct.
No, we are no different from mobile. Every third day there is a software update. If you do not
Correct.
update, the mobile is not going to support. So
Correct.
if your hard disk or hard drive or hardware is not with the latest software, you will not be able to influence anyone, very first thing. And your team will only not be impressed with you. No? You will not be able to build trust of any sort with your peers, with your teams, or with your external partners. See, the trust triangle, how do we build trust is, of course, empathy, of course, no, in terms of knowledge and the capability piece. No, if the knowledge is not there, then you will never be able to build that trust.
Correct.
And then those three pieces of the trust circle, first and very important is your knowledge piece. ये knowledge piece से सब कुछ solve होता है, no?
Correct.
The problem of a very young CHRO having reportees who are double the experience and all, knowledge will come to your help.
Correct.
They will accept you because they will find that at least no knowledge है इसमें. So they will accept you faster. Otherwise, knowledge भी नहीं है, empathy भी नहीं है. So how will no authentic भी नहीं है. So these three pillars: authenticity, uh, empathy, and knowledge. The knowledge comes for your rescue first.
Very
I
powerful.
have I have around 300 to 350 odd books in my library,
Very
personal
nice.
library.
Very
Uh,
nice.
which goes from 6, 7 versions of Bhagavad Gita to a Quran to the fables of Isa and Chanakya Niti to all the series of David Ulrich, HR competency map, outside, inside, the HR scorecard, to some of the Peter Drucker's book, and then talent management, labor laws, all the books, latest one. Every year I get the latest version on them.
Very
So if you
nice.
ask me, I can show you books from 2006 version to today 2025 version also.
Very nice.
So
Very
I
nice.
keep investing in them. I have that, what do I, my passion is to buy books. And then I read them, I highlight them, and then I keep referring to them.
Correct.
So
And you
gradually,
also mentioned that you have taken all these certification courses, which also again is investing in oneself in a very powerful way.
yes. See, some of those investments were, I was lucky to be nominated by the organization, but most of them have been my own investment.
Very
But today
nice.
I feel that they are paying me back
Very
hugely,
nice.
hugely.
So, coming from an engineering background, you also mentioned during our discussion that HR is a science. I mean, it's an art also, but it's a science. And looking at data analytics, like you were talking about that while asking one of your juniors to do some data analysis, and he said that he has never done it before. So, how powerful is data analytics? I mean, I keep on hearing data analytics now in HR. How powerful is data analytics or the ability to analyze data scientifically? How important is it for HR professionals?
See, today I think it is non-negotiable. If you are not able to analyze the data, then it is non-negotiable. Forget it about HR, any field.
Correct.
Everything is data based now. You should have an eye or a basic uh, knowledge of the tools, basic literacy of the models, and basic fundamentals of charts and data and how it flows and all. I few days back I wrote an article in on LinkedIn where I was reading a podcast where people were saying that no, HR on strategy table. Yeah. And in 2004, when I was in MBA college, the case study was of the same name, also HR on strategy table. Almost 22 years have passed, but still HR industry is struggling with that same question. Are you getting seat on the strategy table? I have written my humble wisdom on that how you can get a seat on the strategy table. One, you should talk strategy first. How would
Correct.
you talk strategy? If you want to get attention of that person, of that management, of the CXO's group on the HR platform, are you talking about the HR KPIs deliveries, or you are talking about the value which you have delivered via those? Most of us take pride in designing an HR dashboard which is talking about 20% attrition down, this much cost contained, these many hires, engagement score of this much, these many engagement initiatives, these many Rangoli competitions, these many attrition analysis. But then by the time we actually get onto the final takeaway, most of us get feedback. अच्छा कहना क्या चाहते हो? No, that kind of thing. Versus the McKinsey one, no, talent to value concept. See, if you make only three statements, sir, from an HR angle, I have saved 2.5 crores of organization in last quarter. I have increased the organization's capability in AI and data science, and I have ensured a succession pipeline for these critical roles. These three things. They will be interested to then know you. How have you done it? Then you show the dashboard.
Correct.
But if you start with the dashboard, you will never be talking strategy, so you will never get a seat. Now, to talk about that, you need to understand the data. You need to understand that are you able to run simulations for them? Now, typical example is performance appraisal cycle.
Mhm.
Today, every HR is struggling with force ranking, and poor middle managers, they are going to the managers, sir, please normalize it. No, this is little skewed. Please normalize it. Please normalize it. Management or the business people are always saying that this is a force ranking and this is of no use. Now, there are different philosophies around it, but the organizations who follow this, they should at least be in a position to explain that this is not useless, this is of use. And that use is for the organizations who have not become so matured in terms of performance evaluation. The day my organization shows maturity of doing performance differentiation without having a guidance, without having a guideline, without having a strict SOP, we will let go of the bell curve. But if the moment I open the gate, all my herds are running away, so I will have to, discipline them, no?
Correct.
So where is this coming from? This is coming from the science. They should be able to simulate the data. Sir, I have done that simulation in Excel sheet. 5 years down the line, this is going to be your organization. If we continue to promote people like this, if we continue to give these people 4 or 5 ratings, that simulation was designed by my 2 level below person, very good at Excel. And he said, sir, यहाँ पर आप डाल दो 3 साल बाद क्या situation होगी, 4 साल बाद क्या situation होगी. After 4 years, it was very clearly visible that there are 26% of the population which is sitting now 1 level down CXO. And they are all eligible for promotion from a timeline perspective. Out for those 26, there is only one role. Now tell me what you will do.
Correct.
So now he's presenting his philosophy with a data backup, with
Correct.
a simulation which is visible. Yeah. Some very the experts in presentations have tell that you should start your presentation with universal truths, so that people initially 3 4 slide you should present something which they cannot negate, they cannot deny. If you start the very first slide with a controversial topic, everybody will start giving their ideas and you will not be able to establish your point. So start with something which is non-debatable, which is nobody can negate. My attrition today is 40%. Data is saying this. This function is green, this function is red. Nobody can question that. They will get into acceptance mode. Second, another data point. They will get even more acceptance mode. Then at the third point, if you talk about a philosophy which is related to maybe some Buddhism and all, they will still listen to you. कि यार इसके पीछे भी science तो होगी. So data helps you to travel that journey,
Correct.
to get attention, to establish you as someone who is talking sense, to establish your point very, very assertively that I am not talking in air. I
Correct.
have data to prove.
Correct.
So data is very important.
So, is there, do our HR people averse to be data focused?
See, most of the HR people come from the education background where they have left maths in 11th class, 12th class, and that level. So somewhere the liking for the numbers is not that much there. But today the tools have become AI based and tools have become so easy that it actually doesn't require
Correct.
a deep level integration understanding or a honors in mathematics.
Correct.
No, the day they will start the magic which happens when it is presented in the data. And I think that's where initially the manager should do that magic to show their data in something which is presented in a very unique way.
Correct.
All the organizations today, not even HR, but the rest of the people are also asking for a analyst and data scientist in their team, so that he can analyze and present the data in a very presentable form. In HR, at least wherever I have worked, I have kept a vertical for analytics and HR dashboard, because I review it monthly. How am I doing? What is my organization health? What is my
Very
org
nice.
structure health? What is my talent health? What is my comp health? Now, these are all multiple dashboard, retention health. So when they see the magic, and today AI allows you to do this with a click of button, and the data keeps changing. They come up with so beautiful charts and all. It becomes easy, but then of course not everybody has that liking towards it. But then recruitment, you need to work with data. Payroll, you need to work with data.
Correct.
Uh, Talent management, performance management, you need to work with data. So it will be difficult for someone to survive in HR if he absolutely doesn't like data.
Very powerful. See, again, we are coming almost to the end. It has been almost an hour, Janesh, since we started. It doesn't feel like that we have been talking for an hour. See, one very interesting comment you made was that nowadays the inclination of people to take on additional responsibility, the hunger to take on more and more responsibility, and the easy way of saying that this is not part of my KRA. Why should I be doing it? And you said that this is one of the secrets of your success. So something more on this.
See, one one practical thing which I do, no, of course, with all right intent in mind, is that if somebody comes to me say that no, no, I already have a lot on my plate and I can't take it further, I take away some of the load from his or her plate. I make
Okay.
him even more free. I
Okay.
said, okay, there is enough on your plate, then give me something,
Okay.
so that the person himself or herself realize that no, if I don't have a meteor role to do or something which is of value to do, I will get frustrated myself.
Correct.
Second is, if I find the person has that capability and I am interested in developing onto that person, then I force that decision. I put him into a role which is 100% related to that, where that person was running away from. And couple of other basics things now which I set as a culture of working in my team, where you will see that written very clearly in my HR team board also, that not my job is unacceptable statement in HR. Now, HR is a customer service department, and if you do not carry that empathy with you, then you will find it difficult to be a good business partner. If a person walks into HR and speaks to anyone that I have this problem, you should at least be able to guide that person to the person who is going to solve it for you.
Very nice.
You will not just blindly and very bluntly say that this is not my job.
Very
Now, that
nice.
is unacceptable in HR. Second statement which you will find in my department is that, may I help you? Now, this is a very powerful statement. If you
Correct.
are having no work, just you know lean towards your colleague and ask if there is anything you can help him with. Third is, I need help. If you are stuck, nobody is here to take your samrajya, or nobody is eyeing your chair. Please feel free, you have your own chair, and don't be insecure about it. Be very open that I need your help, I have heard that you are good at it, can you do it for me? Ask for that help. Human psychology is that if you ask for something, the first reaction is that okay, I will do that for you. Unless no, if you come to me say that sir, can you ask him to help, then he'll take it as an order.
Correct.
That will be difficult.
Correct.
So these are some of the things which I want, and I somewhere see, again, it's a manager's responsibility to show the team the right mirror. Have those quarterly reviews with them. Find time for that. Have very authentic and honest conversations with them. If they are not performing, you tell them that you are not performing. Now, it is if in your team you find that people are not able to deliver as per your expectation, please don't try to be politically correct by giving them high ratings, because bell curve to hai to I can give 3%. If you don't find anyone doing that kind of thing, don't do that. People will appreciate you for your fairness, not for you giving everybody 5 ratings, 6 ratings, top ratings, but still be unfair in your decisions. People will appreciate if you upfront tell them that there is a problem and I think you are incapable of doing it, rather than hiring a person and in confidence and getting that person on board, and on the day of joining you are saying that we have decided to give this job to you and you are now free to look for a job. That is betrayal in my view. If your assessment as a manager, as a leader is correct, that my assessment is correct and nobody can challenge, and if anybody wants to challenge that, how can you tell that I am non-performing? You have to prove that. If you are unable to prove that, then of course you don't have any right to take that decision.
Correct.
But a lot of people do not invest that kind of time and they go with general statement that yaar ban nahi raha hai, chal nahi raha hai. So then you
Honest.
can always be on the other side of table. We should not
Correct.
forget that.
Correct. So, see, Janesh, it has been a pleasure. We have been talking for an hour and we talked about taking more responsibility, curiosity, thinking differently, investing in oneself, hunger for taking on more on one's plate, connecting with the last mile, and introspection, gratitude, resilience. So, anything else you would like to mention to HR professionals and people in other departments?
I think little philosophy side, but then the realization is that authenticity is something which is very becoming
Correct.
very rare these days, and authenticity very soon will be valued
Much more.
more than any other competency in the organizations. At least at senior level, I have seen how trustworthy you are, how authentic you are. Even background verification teams are also checking on that credibility only. So as you grow up the ladder, the interviews do not happen on whether you are aware of attrition formula or not. They talk about your persona in a social environment. They talk about your interpersonal skills. They talk about how humble you are, how credible you are, how trustworthy you are, how authentic you are. So, those people who are having that blind in their eyes and believing that, I can put mask and get away with this, please understand the next person is equally smart
Correct.
or maybe smarter than you.
Correct.
If you are fake, even a chota bacha can read it on your face very clearly.
Correct. Correct.
So don't make yourself a fool in front of that. Be authentic. At least in a role where we are, it is always better to be authentic as an HR person. I have closed very difficult conversations of exit where the employee was completely frustrated with his discussions with his functional manager, functional head, that how can they treat me like this? And now he kept telling me that it is okay, theek chal raha hai, and then now suddenly he is saying that it is not working out. It's unfair and all those kind of things. The only thing which I believe helped me in closing those cases was respect and authenticity. Respect the individual. The acknowledgement of human beings around you have gone really down in the society.
Correct.
That basic civic sense, I think, is missing, where we do not acknowledge people around us.
Correct.
Think from that perspective, put yourself in their shoes and then do that conversation. Touch wood, by being authentic and respectful, I have closed the cases without any further complications or allegations, all those kind of things. It helps to be authentic. Sometimes people may tell you that, oh, no, he's very straightforward and no, he told me like that only, but then later on they will thank you that,
Correct.
yeah. he was at least honest.
So it has been more than an hour talking with you, Janesh. It has been a pleasure. So we have to, I mean, we can talk, there are so many threads we can still have the discussion on, but we have to respect the time limit that we have set for ourselves. So thank you, Janesh. Thanks for giving us time.
Thank you, Amit. I enjoyed this conversation, and I must compliment you for an amazing work with Kushalta is doing in terms of brain rewiring. And I think people should realize this. Today, all of us need that brain rewiring. The world around us is changing very fast.
Thank you. Thank you,
Th-
Janesh.
Thank you.